A solar eclipse is coming. Don't be scared of it. Whether or not you're on a place on Earth that will see it at sunrise, Canada and Northeast US, as a ring of fire, Canada, Greenland and Siberia, or high in the sky as a small eclipse, Europe. Nowhere will all of the sun be blocked by the moon. That makes this annular, ring-shaped, and partial solar eclipse potentially dangerous. You can get excellent advice on how to safely watch a partial solar eclipse from Sky and Telescope and from an online guide and video on how to safely view the eclipse from the Royal Astronomical Society, RAS, the Society for Popular Astronomy, SPA, and the British Astronomical Association, BAA. Here's the official warning from the RAS. Although annular and partial eclipses of the sun are spectacular events, they should not be viewed with the unaided eye. Even though a large part of the solar disk will be covered, looking at the partially eclipsed sun without appropriate protection can cause serious and permanent damage to the eyes. So here are 7 ways to safely observe this week's solar eclipse, with one very specific exception. See below. The only way to safely observe this eclipse while directly observing it is through solar eclipse safety glasses. They must be ISO certified. If you have some leftover from 2017's Great American Eclipse, then do a brief check that they're not damaged or have any tiny holes in. If they do, don't use them. Even dropping them on a lawn can spike them. You've lost your solar eclipse glasses and there's no time to get new ones. What to do? Don't use sunglasses. Ever. One answer is to make a pinhole camera, which will allow you to follow the progress of the moon across the sun safely without having to directly observe it. Here's how NASA says you should make a pinhole camera, but the image of the sun is pretty small. There is another way. This one's my favorite. Instead of making holes, you use something with small, well-defined holes already, like a kitchen colander. It will project shadows onto the floor, or onto a wall, which when close to the peak of the eclipse where you are should resemble crescent suns. You can even see them on walls, floors and even on the sides of vehicles. For a larger projection you can use optical equipment you might have in your home to make a sun projector. You'll need a pair of binoculars, and some patience to line it up, and adjust it as the eclipse progresses. After all, the sun and moon will move a lot during the few hours of the eclipse. A sturdy tripod will help. Just don't ever be tempted to look at the sun through the binoculars. You should never look at a partially eclipsed sun through optical devices such as binoculars or telescopes. Remember when you were a kid using a magnifying glass to burn grass using sunlight? Yeah, that. The only exception is if you put professional solar filters or solar film from the brands like Thousands Oaks and Botter over the objective lenses.